This episode of MMA Nuts is brought to you by HostGator. Save 30% off hosting with code MMA. TheWatchery.com. Save $100 off 1,000 plus with code MMAY100. Fence Soap. Get 15% off your order with code MMA Nuts. Woo! Hey fans, this is MMA Nuts, episode 244.
244, fucker.
Yes, my name is Ingo Weigold.
Matt Groth, MMA Show. By MMA fans, for MMA fans, we're walking the line between serious and a slow roll ridiculous.
Ridiculous?
What's snapping in?
I don't know. Things are happening. Summer's kicking in.
It is.
I kind of want to get right into some business, if you have a second.
Kind of
Did
business.
you see this nonsense between Roy Nelson and Josh Barnett? Uh-oh.
No.
Forgot to.
So unplug here. Sorry.
So there's some Twitter beef happening, Matt.
Twitter beef?
Yes. Roy Nelson. I hope the UFC drug testing is in effect by then. Right? George St. Pierre, Ariel Helwani, and Josh Barnett replies. This was in response to them fighting. Says, I'm hoping they allow you to do steroids just to make this a competitive fight, because gravy injections haven't worked for you. So who wins, Matt? Who wins?
Who's fighting?
I think Roy Nelson's going to fight Josh Barnett. That's the rumor around the campfire.
I don't like Roy
like that
Nelson's
matchup?
chances. It's all right. I mean,
The War Master versus the Burger King sponsor.
Roy he's not doing anything. He's just gonna come out and spam right overhand rights.
Yes.
Like he's playing a fucking video game, and yeah, okay.
All day.
Don't use the jiu-jitsu that may. I'd actually rather see that fight in Metamoris.
Okay. Maybe that's what they're gonna do instead.
Maybe
that would be better.
Or Frank Mir. Where's Mir at? Get him in Metamoris. Oh, he's supposed to fight Todd Duffy. They're headlining shortly here. There's a lot of shit going on lately.
It's weird. There's a lot of shit.
There is.
Because I got right into it because we have so much news. So should we just get into the news?
Sure. Being brought to you by HostGator. What can you do?
You can save 40% off of shared hosting for 1 year with code MMA40.
Woo!
That's a crazy deal. Seriously.
Get some hosting.
Yeah. Put your shit up. I don't know. Take a
Don't
picture
be a
of your
bitch.
balls and just host it somewhere and put it out there. Is
For
there
1 year.
I wonder if would that work?
What?
Like a website, dedicated to just pictures of people's balls.
Why not?
That's all it is.
We had a razor company. You could shave them.
My balls on display.com.
It just random pictures of your balls on things. Like, here's my balls on my dog's forehead.
That'd be so awesome.
Here's my balls on my tire of my vehicle. I want to put my balls on a monster truck tire.
There you go.
And then have a UFC fighter fucking trying to flip it later and tell him, my balls are on that tire. You're flipping over, Matt Browne.
Nice.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Kicks my ass. So we move right along.
Yes.
Oh, man. I got to fire up. Hang on. I got a drink for this one because
you're going to drink?
This is going to make me very upset.
The next topic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Fucking Nevada State Athletic Commission. Ooh.
What have they done, Matt?
They're in cahoots with the UFC, trying to kill the sport of MMA one fighter at a time. Let's just get them all out of the fucking sport. So they decide to go full retard with the punishments for different kind of drugs. And obviously, I mean, we could start and talk with marijuana first because that seems to be the one that
lifetime ban
everybody is shitting about.
Yes.
First offense, 18 months suspension.
Whoa.
Second, 24. Third, 36 months. Fourth, lifetime suspension. So Nick Diaz falls into the 3-year suspension for weed. Is that even a drug anymore if it's legal in X amount of fucking states? It seems like we always talk about this topic, but
we do. I'm wondering though if in his case, would the next offense be the first one, or would it be the second one? Or third
one? I would say if I'm the Nevada State Athletic Commission, everybody starts clean because you can't just roll some shit out and say, well, we're gonna look back at history and
they're just gonna start sending fines
because then like God forbid Josh Barnett would fail. He might have a lifetime ban. I think he's failed steroids 2 or 3 times now.
Blasphemy.
Yeah. So
I don't want to call this.
I'm just saying, might have killed the league.
Or 2.
The league.
It's pretty ridiculous. So that's just marijuana.
Yeah. That's not 100% blasphemous in my book. Of course, I'm very pro PED. I think that should be a fighter's choice.
You don't say.
Yeah. Like, hey.
Like ladies' choice? That kind of thing?
It's ladies' night, all right?
This is ladies' night.
That's right. So now, for testing positive for PEDs, they're going to say first offense is a 3-year suspension and a fine of 50 to 75% of your purse. It's nice that they can't even give you a fucking exact number. They're going to still give them some leeway. Smart move, dickheads.
Wow, that's harsh.
Second offense, 4-year suspension and a fine of 75 to 100% of your purse. Third offense, lifetime suspension, a fine of 100%. This is all going into effect September 1st. Done deal.
Wow. But that's crazy. Okay, you have the first offense, and you're going to go 3 years, right? And then you're going to come back, and then you have another offense, 4 years. That's 7 years suspended. That your career is. What's the point of a lifetime ban at that point? It doesn't even make sense.
No, these punishments do not fit the fucking crime.
It's crazy.
Right now, I looked at all the other leagues just to get an idea, and this may not be 100% correct, but just go with me. So,
okay.
NFL, if you could test positive for PEDs, which they're probably 90% using in there. First offense, you get 4-game suspension. Second offense, 10 games. Third offense, 2 years. Well, reasonable. NBA, first offense, 20 games.
Do they test for steroids there?
HGH. I don't know if it's all steroids.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Second, 45 games. Third, lifetime ban. NHL, first, 20 games. Second, 60. Third, lifetime. Major League Baseball, first, 80 games. Second, 162. I don't know about the third. Olympics, first, 2-year ban. Second, lifetime. So basically, the UFC is, or it's not the UFC, it's Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to say, fucking MMA is the strongest fine, strongest punishment out of any fucking sport we have now.
Yes. That's the 3 years is the first one, right?
Yeah,
That's
3
really
years.
That's really harsh. That's extremely harsh.
And here's the challenge, because they're not very good with drug testing in the first place. So, like, let's look at Nick Diaz, for example. We have them drug test him at, I think it was UFC 183 when he fights Anderson Silva. They test him for 3 times, right? One of the tests positive for marijuana, 2 of them clean.
The middle one. The one in the middle.
Yes. So, in their book, guilty.
Guilty.
So now you're going to trust these motherfuckers to do this drug testing policy, possibly put you out for 3 years when they can't even test you properly.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this about?
Well, it sounds to me like the union, or whatever they want to call it, needs to happen like tomorrow.
Seriously, like we were talking before the show, every other sport, you know, they're regulating themselves, and they have a players association or some sort of a union that is going back and forth. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're in a 100% dictatorship, from the UFC dictating how much you're going to make, who's going to sponsor you, who's not going to sponsor you, to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. It's going to tell you, oh, here's the new fines and everything.
This is just to clarify, though, this is currently just in Vegas, right? Everywhere else, it's, but usually they're kind of like the guide for everywhere else. So.
But why? Why do they have to be the guide? I would like to see, and hopefully we could talk to Andy Foster from the California State Athletic Commission, just to say, you know what? Fuck you and your punishments, Nevada. I think they're too harsh.
They got Arnold. They don't care about steroids.
Exactly. In fact, they encourage the drug use. No, they don't, but they do.
That was a good podcast. Him and Tim Ferriss. Did you listen to that?
I haven't heard that.
That was a good one, yeah. Him and Arnold.
So as a fighter, you know, I half joke about this beforehand, but what if you just said, I don't want to fight in Vegas? I just don't agree with this, because as a fighter, what else can you do? Because there's nobody representing the fighter right now.
No, there isn't. And it seems like the UFC has kind of turned like the corner on these guys. It seemed to me before, when I first started watching MMA, they were the management was still always like for the fighter, and now it's become for the company, for the the public eye. Like we're coming down on drugs and fuck the fighter, literally, financially and emotionally and physically, and who cares, So this sounds crazy. I don't know how they. I mean, isn't there a vote or something?
No, it's a dictatorship. They're just sitting there as a commission going, let's do this, and there's no pushback. No pushback.
Well, they have a track record already of fucking things up, right? So they allowed TRT, and then in the same light, they took it away so quickly. And there was, one thing I think it was Chael Sonnen who said at the time too was like, how can you do that? Like you can't say this is legal now and then now it's illegal when you know that by making it legal, you've kind of like put these people on the hook for having to do this for the rest of their life, whether they were cheating before or not. So in this case, it's like they just kind of made policy, and I'm sure I guarantee you it will be changed. So somebody's going to get fucked in the beginning, and then they're going to change it. And they either will have to overrule or overturn some really harsh punishment. But I just feel like, how can you take them seriously? Because it's like when parents, right? You give out like, you're grounded for 10 years, right? And then the next day, I was just kidding, like, I don't know, overreacted. You can't create like an aura of like authority in that kind of environment. So I think the commission's a joke at this point. Give us Keith Kaiser.
That's right. He would never stand for any of this shenanigans.
Maybe this is why he left. Maybe he's like, knew this shit was going down. I don't know. Or the UFC got rid of him somehow, to get him out of there because he seemed like he was. Yeah.
You like the monkey business?
Yeah. But I haven't really gotten reactions from the Twitterverse, from the fighters.
No,
there hasn't been much, right?
No, they've been real quiet on this topic. The Reebok pay, not so much, but this topic, no pushback. But hopefully the other states' athletic commissions do not accept this.
Go, fuck you.
They should. And maybe that's the one saving grace of this is that luckily this is not a federally allocated program, or however you want to say that, where you're not talking about every state that it's sanctioned, and you have to do it on a state-by-state basis. Yes. And as a fighter, I would just say I'm not fighting in Nevada anymore. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you guys can fix this, because you can't even. The problem is they can't even administer the test correctly. So how can I trust them to test me and then penalize me when they're fucking incompetent?
You can't.
So I'm not going to play your game. I'm out.
Yeah.
Michael Bisping, out.
Well, I wonder, if other states don't follow suit, is that going to hurt business for the state of Nevada?
It should.
Yeah.
If the fighters make a stink. If they don't, which unfortunately they're probably just going to accept it and go, oh, okay.
And the other side of the coin is if they do accept it, it'll be like, oh, you don't want to fight in Nevada? How come? And then there will be all that like, you must be juicing talk because you don't want to, or whatever you're doing.
Okay.
Because you don't want to fight in Nevada, I don't know. It seems crazy to me. All this stuff I feel like is taking a step back. All this,
it's almost like we're in the fucking 1980s and this is drugs are bad. It's a drug war. Yes. I want my athletes to be the best they can be.
Drugged up and coked up and
no, I don't. I have a
smoked
challenge.
up.
Well, that's the other thing too. If you want to talk about, okay, we're gonna test them for marijuana, but you're just doing a urine test. I get that you shouldn't be under the influence of a drug while you're fighting, and I'm okay with that. But you have to do a blood test. You cannot do a urine test for someone that may have smoked weed a month out, and then they show up and like, oh, well, he was on fucking marijuana. Yeah. Like when? He wasn't, when he was fighting 30 days ago he smoked some.
Yeah.
So
3 days ago. Who cares?
Well, exactly. And is that really going to help your performance? Come on.
Doubtful.
Give me a fucking break. So anyway, we'll see where this one goes. Again, it's like I don't know why we're trying to kill the sport. I just don't get it at this point.
There must be a reason.
They want to get out of MMA?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I still think they're trying to sell. There's a lot of like weirdness happening.
Yeah.
I think definitely. Do you want to talk about that part of it? Like
which
the whole. Well, I was going to bring up, since we're kind of on the subject, about the lawsuit.
Yeah.
How the UFC kind of filed like a motion to basically, they requested a bunch of financial information, like these guys like Nate Quarry, all these guys that are out there suing them, and they basically what is the legal term? Hold on, I don't know. Basically, they said that they don't want to have to provide this information because it's too tedious, unless they can prove in a court that it's valid for them to sue them for some reason. So it's like they don't want to release financial information. How come? Why not?
Of course, you want to keep everything private. They don't want you to see how much money they're making.
Well, they're probably not making money right now. I think
or losing on the flip side.
I think they're losing a lot of money, and they have a lot of debt, and the company is probably not in as good a shape as it seems. And God forbid they put that out to the public, people are going to panic, right? So, I don't know.
No, it seems like they did a good job of getting it from, one level to the next level, but now trying to go to the next level, it seems like they're really struggling, and they might not have the right personnel in charge to take it there.
Well, it's very true. That's interesting you say that, because I think history has shown in many circumstances in other industries where one guy was able to get a company like right there and then couldn't do it, but then you brought in this other guy or girl or whatever, and all of a sudden, they got to that spot, the top spot. Maybe that's maybe it's time for Dana White and all those, Fertitas or whatever. I don't know, step aside, be owners, let someone else run the show that knows what they're doing. But who would that be? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Who's going to do it, And my big thing is I think Dana needs to start being Dana again. Stop being whatever the fuck he's doing right now.
I don't know, because there's two challenges right now, too. So you mentioned this challenge, and then there's the FTC investigating them again, Zuffa's business practices. This happened a few years ago where they were considering suing them or not, and now they're opening that back up.
Okay.
We'll see what happens with that. But Dana White had a interview the other day, and he was talking about Brendan Schaub basically calling him a liar, and there's no way he made $100,000 with this sponsor and that sponsor. And then
he was laying into him pretty good.
Yeah, and then Joe Rogan, they had another Fight Companion podcast with Schaub and Rogan basically backing him up, saw the numbers, said it's true, why don't you release it? I'm not going to release that information.
Yeah,
he's kind of taking the higher road, and probably a good idea, because
he'll never get another fight.
Why would Dana White shit all over one of his fighters like that? What's the gain here? I don't understand that.
Well, Brendan's not exactly top tier, right? He's a heavyweight, so he has naturally more draw, but I wouldn't say that he's at any kind of Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, even Frank Mir level as far as popularity, that kind of thing. So why would he do it? I don't know, because you backed him into a corner, so he's got to lash out, I guess.
Well, can't they have a conversation
privately?
They haven't even talked.
Nah.
It's fucked up, man.
Well, I don't know. Dana on his flip phone,
right.
Call him up, hey Dana, what's happening? I don't know. I don't know. Anytime there's policy change, of course, there's going to be an uprising if it's negative. But I just feel like there's not money. If there's no money, that's a big problem, right? So that's the only thing that makes sense to me, that there isn't as much money as everybody thinks there is.
And especially if you think about how they've structured the Reebok deal, and that they're not giving fighters an opportunity to sell to any sponsors, and even, if they do a one-off, say we were talking, Monster Energy wants to come in for an event, the UFC gets all the money for that.
Not the fighters.
So then it starts to add up to maybe they are struggling, and maybe they need to get every dollar they can at that point.
Yeah.
And then lash out at anybody who challenges the system.
Of course.
I still think they're losing on the sponsorship deal. I thought the better chance, we talked last week and said, what if Reebok just owned the ass end of the shorts and let the fighter sell the front end? And, they could, the UFC wanted to charge a sponsor tax, right? Well, instead of the sponsor tax, what if you just said, okay, all the sponsors, you can sell the front, we just need 10%. I mean, that's a little bit fair, because obviously the UFC should get some money because you are on their broadcast. I can accept that. That gives the fighter some leeway. That gives the UFC possibly even more money than they were getting before. And everyone should be happy. Reebok's got half the ass, or they get the whole ass. They get half of the
whole
thing.
ass. It's better than half the ass.
The fighter is happy because they can still have their sponsors,
Mhm.
and then the UFC should be happy because they're getting a little coin. I don't know. I think it just needs to change, and hopefully they do it. I just don't know if they're going to. That's the question.
Yeah. It's weird. I think the next 6 to 12 months are going to tell a lot. There's a lot of things, a lot of major changes. July is coming up, right?
Yeah, July 1st is going to couple
So now
months,
September 1st,
you know?
there's all these things happening in the next 3 to 6 months. Financially, you know, testing-wise, athletic commission-wise, who knows? People are going to Bellator.
Yes. Yeah, Scott Coker says his phone is ringing off the hook right
Sure.
now because of this Reebok stuff, and you technically can't talk to them because they're still under contract, which I still don't get. And what if you're a UFC fighter and you wanted to just get released? I don't think they just release you. You have to fight it out, or they tie your contract up.
Yeah. Oh,
Which
I
kind
can
of
see that.
sucks.
It does. Which is weird because it's one of the other things about the fight game that seems strange to me, because in no other industry can you really do that kind of thing. You can't like keep a person from working.
Yeah.
Like especially if they're unhappy with their working environment. So they basically give you not enough fights to make a living, you want to go. Too bad, right? Fight once or twice a year. Or, you know, they give you no way out of your contract. Too bad, you know, retire.
Mhm.
Can't go fight anywhere else. Sorry, it's fucked up.
I'm going to sign one fight deal every time.
Every time.
We're going to renegotiate after every fight. They
Yes.
would never accept that.
As long as you win. But the thing is as far as I understand it, they have the right to fire you anytime they want.
I'm sure.
So
Yes.
the contract is totally one-sided.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you for using our platform.
In perpetuity. I'll
Right.
say that
I love
every
that
show
word.
now.
I love that word.
Forever. Even after you die, we still own your likeness. You'll
Yes.
still be in the fucking UFC game, getting ass raped.
Which I haven't played since it came out.
Me neither.
It's on my Xbox, but I think I'm going to delete it.
It's still there. My
Yeah.
daughter asked if we could play it the other day. I just said no.
hard.
Like, I'm done. I
It's
can't play that
it's
game
atrocious.
anymore.
Yeah. it's
The
atrocious.
fucking THQ version was so
Way
light
better.
years
Way
ahead.
better.
So
Yeah.
much more fun.
Yep.
2 words: pride and tournament.
Yeah.
Speaking of sponsors, what didn't you say Gegard Mousassi signed?
Yes, signed Bridgestone, right?
Woohoo!
Way to go. He's their, what is it called?
Brand ambassador.
Thank you. What that means, I don't know.
I don't know, but you know what they're gonna do? So think of when they do all this like countdown shows or Road to the Octagon. Maybe if they show Gegard out doing the caveman training, and you have the big tires, that's gonna be a fucking big ass
Big ass logo
Bridgestone.
in white.
Maybe all the tires. Oh, that guy's flipping tires. Matt Brown's flipping tires. Bridgestones.
Nice.
Bridgestone.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, but he can't do that on fight day, right?
No, so it's gonna be off the beaten path. So
Maybe we should contact Bridgestone. Seem to be throwing money around.
you want to sponsor something? You want to get in on? It's not the ground floor anymore.
On the mid-level.
We're like mid-level.
We still have room. There's a few rooms available on this
We're
floor.
like B-level.
Yeah. Soon,
Yeah,
the floor will be full, and we'll have to go up to the next.
that's right.
Yes.
We're like the UFC.
Mm-hmm. Selling
Got
out.
to this level. We still have shelf space available.
Yes.
We haven't
We should
completely
just put
sold
signs
out.
up. It says for sale. For sale.
Why not? Fuck
T-shirts
it.
for sale. Everything's
Sure.
for sale. The back of my iPad for sale. The back of your laptop for
Yeah.
sale. Just everywhere.
Well, it's like I was trying to. My mom's like in the market for getting a dog, and we were looking through websites of adopt a dog, and one of them there's a dog with a sign on it like "Help me!"
It's terrible.
Like, oh my god.
They get you right in the heart.
Yeah.
Heart there.
So the crazy thing is, there's so many pit bulls. That
You
want to
get a pit bull?
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I was
like,
gonna say that's crazy.
overwhelmingly, I'd say
Oh, sure.
out of all the places I was looking, 50% were probably pit bull.
I think they're bred a lot, and then the fighting thing, and people. I bet people get them, and then they can't
Yeah.
control them and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Team pit bull was number 1, and I want to say Chihuahua was probably number 2.
dude, you should totally get a Chihuahua.
the people across the street from me.
We should
have
get one and
a
runs
big
around
one,
the
a
set
fucking
and
little-
just jumps up here.
My
Shut
dog,
up.
my
Shut
dog
up.
will kill that thing. It has no chance.
Just no, they're quick, man. They're fast. You know they.
My dog kills everything.
Yeah,
Are
but
you
there's not
kidding me?
enough space in the house to get. I think she needs some time to get full blast. No, because she's
The dog killed a rabbit along with
Oh, wow.
squirrels.
no kidding.
She's killed.
Even a rabbit?
Yeah.
Those things are fast as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
She don't play.
she's a hunter.
Yep.
Did you cook that sucker?
No, I
Need
should
some
have
Hassan
cut it.
pepper?
I should have cut his foot off. Made lucky.
Ain't so
foot
lucky
chain.
now, motherfucker. Hanging
Yeah.
around her neck. Like, who's the lucky one now?
Yes. She gets to keep like all the squirrels she's killed. She gets to
Yes.
keep the tails and make a
That's
little
messed up.
chain. Walk her with that fucker. It's all good. What else you got going on here? News-wise?
Well, I have this one thing. There's this thing called Team Fighting Championship. I think I showed you a video of this earlier. Their website is teamsfight.com. I mean, we played this. You can overlay some of it if you want, but there's like 20 different videos. It's 5-on-5 MMA rules.
And they have tires in this area. Kind of looked similar to the Metamora setup where no crowd.
Not really?
Is this a pay-per-view type thing?
Well, no, because it's all free on their website. I don't know if they
How
do.
do they make money then?
I don't know. Is there pay-per-views?
It's
Scared the shit out of
basically
me.
a gang war, but they've just been banned from fucking everything.
Scared the
Copyright
crap out of me.
infringement.
Jumped. I
17.
just shit my pants.
You're a little jumpy over there. It's
I
all
am.
good.
I thought I was gonna.
Means you're still alive.
I mean, look at that.
I had no reaction.
It's just crazy.
That is gang wars.
The thing that's silly is like they have 5 guys and they go each one fights one guy simultaneously. But if you kick your guy's ass, you can go help your other guy. So then you're like, I don't like that. That just seems like too crazy.
Nah, I'm not a fan of that.
At least there's refs. There's more than one. There's like 5 or 6 refs.
Yeah, but those guys were still getting fucked up because there was one
they're
point where it was 4-on-1. There's no good gonna come on that. Unless they let the guy stand up and then at least have a fighting chance. When the guy's already on the ground and one guy's beating him, and then another guy comes in and starts sock kicker, and another guy comes in and sock kick, just back those fuckers up.
Yeah.
Let the guy stand up, and then maybe then there's at least
a chance
of taking one
like
guy out.
How many guys have gotten up in that situation?
Right,
And
it's
actually,
not gonna happen.
You might as well just
stand
stop
him up, give him a little shot. That's all I'm saying.
It's a European thing. I think they
Apparently.
like to fight.
I'm okay with that. Fight on. Fight on.
What else you got?
Oh, just the UFC buy rates for like the last few numbered events.
Yes.
I think they've all been mentioned, but UFC 184 was Rousey versus Ngannou. It was 590,000.
Okay, not bad.
UFC 185 Pettis versus RDA 275,000.
Oh, that's bad.
And UFC 186 Johnson versus Horiguchi. They're estimating in the 100 to 125,000 range.
Whoa.
And that's, I want to say there was another Johnson one that was in the $100,000 buy rate.
That is bad.
He might not want to headline any more cards.
No, dude. He's got to be like not even the co-main event. He's got to be like the 3rd one down. Like he'd be good on this card we're going to discuss tonight to come up like the the 2nd fight, I guess. You know.
Maybe they need 2 octagons.
Simultaneous? Is it like
Or
Lollapalooza? They have like
yes. So then you're gonna have good seeds for one of the fights and okay for the other.
I see. Interesting.
Unless you sit in the middle.
That's an idea.
I don't know. Needs something. The little guys. Sorry, it's not working.
Yeah.
Or just maybe you just shrink the octagon altogether. Shave off maybe 3 feet from each side, and just bang it out, man. Shit's
There's a
going
video I
down.
saw on Facebook of like some fighting thing where they were fighting in what looked like a telephone booth style
Hey,
cage. Did
I'm
you see
okay
that
with
one?
no.
It was so crazy. They had no room to barely move. Maybe that's what we need. It was official. There was a ref and everything. So I don't know. The ref couldn't even. He got out of the cage, I think, to referee this thing. So crazy.
It's interesting. Like you get into, or think about the cage that when we were training at Flow. That one was pretty small. Like,
It was.
What if that was
The
octagon?
UFC cage?
Oof.
Okay. The heavyweights would break that.
But
That's too small.
That guarantees action because you can't get away at that point.
I really like the idea of going back to a ring. I think they should try that. I feel like the cage is a weapon and a tool, and I think for some guys it actually hurts their game. And I don't know that it's necessarily proves or shows better martial artist skills, but it's just another thing. If there was the ropes, kind of give you room, and you know you could fall out, I guess. But I feel like the action
jump over.
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just pride reminds me. It seems like the action was better. I don't know. Or we keep saying 10-minute first round, 12-minute first round.
Yeah, well, with all this new drug testing, is anybody gonna have any cardio? I mean, just a lot of people say, "Oh, this is
Frankie
so
Edgar.
great. Oh, these new drug testing things are so great." Okay, just wait. Watch the quality of fights. I'm telling you, this is a new level of MMA that you are not gonna like. The quality, the cardio,
to go down.
It can't get better. No. We're only gonna get worse from here on out.
Yeah.
And some people think that's great.
Or the turnover will be much higher. You will see guys retiring in their early 30s, late 20s.
Or, you know, one test, you're gone.
See you later.
That's basically a lifetime ban. 3-year?
Yep.
How are you supposed to make money? You're going to have to do something else. So.
Yep.
Should we get into some fights? Should we have any more?
No, I'm good. Let's do this.
UFC 187. This was supposed to be the best card of the year.
187. Motherfucker. That's happening May 23rd at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I better change that slide because it says Sunday, May 24th.
Again?
I don't want to hear grieve. I'm just confused.
I wonder where you pulling these from. I wonder
the
if it's
internets.
Internets?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's probably in another country.
Yeah. Which country would that be? Like east of us?
I don't know.
It's weird. And it's in English.
Take that.
Maybe it's in the UK.
Change that. So.
What are we talking about first?
So crazy. We got Arlovski, Andrei Arlovski versus Travis Browne.
Yes. I'm excited.
Yeah?
Not really.
Why?
I think this is
going
to
be a heavyweight.
This is going to be a one-sided destruction, in my opinion.
What happened to all the heavyweight fights? It seems like, well, the problem is I think the heavyweight division is the thinnest in the UFC, unfortunately.
Arlovski looks quite swole in that picture. And he only has one sponsor. Is he going to be able to do Arlovski.com?
Yep.
That's okay?
Yeah, because we're not July 1st.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can,
okay.
And he's actually in a good position if that's his sponsor because all the other people have been cutting out, you know? If you've already had a relationship with a fighter, a lot of them are just walking away because they don't see what's the point. Like, I'm investing in the future, and there is none now. So I'm out. Yes.
You want my take on this fight?
Yes.
I think Travis Browne has too much athleticism, too much power, too much sneakiness. The guy is very, very, I don't know, he's like shucks and drives pretty well if he doesn't blow out his knee this time.
Hammy or whatever.
Yes.
And then fucking, was it Bigfoot Silva fucks him up?
Yeah. But I really didn't see much change in Arlovski's game in the last couple of fights. I think he just was fighting lower caliber opponents and maybe just squeaking by. I didn't really see like the old Arlovski like flare up, not the guy who almost knocked Fedor out, you know, before the flying ballerina thing, you know, kind of thing.
I like to throw flying knees with my hands down.
So I just don't see him. I don't know where he's better. I mean, maybe on the ground, he has a chance versus stand up, but I'm thinking this ends in a knockout and it's going to be brutal. I'm 90 seconds. This was my take on this thing. What do you think?
I have to go over on that. Well, I think Arlovski's had a challenge in this fight because you're not going to have the Bigfoot Silva who just stands right in front of you just waiting for you to unload on his face and knock him out. Literally. It's not going to happen. You know, you want to talk about a heavyweight and movement. Well, that's Travis Browne in a nutshell. He's going to be moving around, and I'd almost like to see some more of the elbows. You know, get him up against the cage and say Arlovski tries to get that takedown, and you know, you're starting to see a few people start to deliver those elbows. Totally legal.
Those are brutal.
I think he's killed 2 people like that.
Yes. Josh Barnett happens to be one of them, right?
Yeah.
We talked about him earlier.
So I like Travis Browne all day, and first round KO, Travis Browne. I'm not going deep. I'm just going light.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Magic 8 ball.
Survey says
again later outlook not so good for Andrei Arlovski. So we're the triple threat for Travis Browne.
Okay.
Moving right on to what I think should be the main event. We had Chris Weidman versus Vitor Belfort.
Phenom. Yeah, this should be the main event.
And
for sure.
Wasn't there like injury here, injury there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is going to be Vitor Belfort's first fight back after being off the TRT.
But he's looking swole.
And let me tell you something.
What?
When you come back from being off the TRT, you get knocked the fuck out. See Dan Henderson, see Bigfoot Silva, see who's my last guy?
Coming off
Dan Henderson.
You said him twice.
Overrated.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just see.
He's got
and Dan Henderson.
He's got a tick back there.
Dan
That's
Henderson.
all good. Okay, so you're thinking knockout for Vitor?
Yeah, he's getting knocked the fuck out for sure because
come on.
you don't even know what his body's going to respond to. He's older of age. I don't know if it says up there, but he's late 30s. Okay.
Yes. Weidman's early 30s.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't redline like this guy has been.
You can.
You know. Well, yeah. When he tests his testosterone, it's in like the fucking 1500 level. Hey, I was there. I did it. Oh my God, it felt awesome.
He broke walls.
Yes.
With his head.
Yes. But now you have to go cold turkey. You have to try to get your body to recreate that testosterone. It's not going to happen this late in life. So I expect a marked difference in his performance. Okay. I don't even think he's going to get that blitz that you're going to expect. Remember, the first round, he wants to throw all that spinning kicks and shit. I just don't see it. And I flipped the side to Weidman and go, okay, he's got a chin. You saw that in the Machida fight where he just basically let him tee off in the last couple of rounds. He was tired, but he just fucking took those shots and ate them. And it's really going to depend, is he going to knock him out? Well, he knocked out Anderson Silva.
He did.
No, it's not a fluke. Did it. Checked the kick, broke his leg.
Yep.
Not a fluke.
Not
2
a fluke.
wins. They still don't give him legit wins on that. It's still fluky. And then beats Machida. Still pretty fucking good in my book. So
yep.
It's really, where does Weidman want to have the fight go? Does he want to keep it standing? He can keep it standing. Does he want to take it down? He can take it down. And once he takes it down, he's a crazy fucker. Because when he fought Anderson Silva, didn't he like roll for a knee bar or did something crazy? Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
So he's confident in his jiu-jitsu. So I like him.
He's got the Matt Serra.
Goddamn right. If you got Serra in a corner, that's just win. Him and Longo, you're pushing like 650.
And he did just get his black belt.
This is true.
Yes, 650.
I don't know. Okay. There's a lot of poundage in that corner. I'm saying there's a lot of pasta, a lot of poundage, a lot of TRT.
Yes.
It's all good. And I wonder if he's so juiced to the gills, the Matt Serra, if they're training together, does that just rub off on you? Like the sweat's getting in your eyes and you're drinking the Matt Serra sweat. He might be like 1,500 for all I know. He could be the new Vitor Belfort.
Could be.
So I don't think Jesus helps him this fight. I think it's Weidman all day, and I'm gonna venture to say Weidman with a first round KO.
Okay, I can buy that. I can buy that.
Say
Here's the thing.
What?
Cheaters don't stop cheating. I don't think Vitor Belfort is clean, and I think what's going to happen is he's not going to test positive on this night, but for the next fight he probably will. And I'm thinking he's probably taking or doing something that is like new-ish.
Ooh, I like this. I like where you're going.
So because I'm looking at pictures of him and I'm looking at him working out, and I don't see a marked difference in his physique.
There was, though.
Do you think so?
When he initially came off, he almost looked like a fucking welterweight.
Right, initially.
Right.
But now he's back. I don't know.
Well, maybe he finally got to that point and said, you know what? This ain't working. Jesus is not helping me this time.
I need the good shit, Doc. So I'm thinking he's not necessarily off the juice. And I think he comes in, balls to the wall, and we are going to get the blitz. The thing I see with him is he's used to fighting guys bigger, right? He's fought at light heavyweight. I mean, he went against Rumble, and I think he submitted Rumble Johnson. He almost finished John Jones. He's not afraid to be on his back. His jiu-jitsu is strong. So, and he's got a lot of power, and he's wild and crazy now. He's got fists and kicks, which he didn't have earlier in his career. I think this is trouble for Weidman. I feel like Vitor, if he comes out balls to the wall, can finish this fight. I think it's going to be early. I'm giving it 2 minutes or less. Vitor Belfort, the new, what are we at? Welterweight? No.
185.
Middleweight, sorry. Middleweight champion of the world, Vitor Belfort.
He's got to jump around weight classes so much. He's like, what fucking class are we in now?
185.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't think he's clean. I really don't. I definitely agree he was smaller right after, but now he seems pretty back. I
haven't seen the pictures.
How do you get back? I don't know. How do you get back? And he's got the veins and all that shit. Something's going on, man. Something's happening.
Good for him if
he's on some good shit.
I'm okay with this.
There are a lot of drugs, okay?
Yes, there are.
They can't test for them all.
Yeah, they can't. Maybe
No.
he'll just fucking coke it up then too.
Or it'll be something weird where it's like his TDE ratio is all fucked up, but they can't find
Like John
anything.
Jones
Yeah.
and Daniel Cormier.
Yeah,
by
they
the way.
can't find anything. So, I take Vitor.
All right. Magic 8 Ball is also taking Vitor.
Yes!
What round are you taking?
First
Did you
round,
say
2
first?
minutes.
Okay.
KO.
Fair.
And they're going to do it again in 3 months. Because, you know,
Yeah,
they have
that's
to.
how they do this. Then we have
Whoa.
Anthony Johnson versus Daniel Cormier.
Girth.
Now I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
ask you this question
Yes.
before we start. Is this a legitimate title fight?
Man, I feel like that's the problem with the champ getting kicked out of the UFC. Because no matter what happens, there's always going to be the what if, right? So John has to come back and lose, I think, in order for that belt to be legitimized in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could be the best of the current guys that are there, but I still see, especially, you know, Cormier's already fought Jones.
Right.
So how does that work?
Right. What if he wins? Is he a legitimate champion?
No,
then?
of course not.
Exactly. So this
So-
is like a fight between two guys that are really good, and one of them's going to be a temporary champion or a paper champion until they fight John Jones.
The best thing that can happen is one-sided destruction by Anthony Johnson of Daniel Cormier, quick and easy.
Mhm.
And then I think there will be talk still, but they'll say, well, Jones couldn't do it, right? So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Rumble by MMA math is better.
And I love MMA math. Well, I subscribe.
There's that one meme. Have you seen that of like the 125 pounder? Not Demetrius Johnson. The other guy. He fought in Chicago here against him. Dodson.
Yeah.
There's some way he got to be like heavyweight champ by like MMA math. Yeah, I gotta find that for you.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. I that's why I'm not excited. It sucks that they're putting him in. I think the previous fight, like you said, is definitely the main event.
Yeah.
So, you know, what is your take? What's going to happen? What's going down?
Well, you know, you look at that other fight and, you know, Rumble Johnson, he's got really good takedown defense, and he's finally
does.
fighting at the proper weight class, you know.
Yes.
You've seen him, you know, people are going to question his conditioning. He went 3 solid rounds against Phil Davis.
He did.
And the power is the thing that kind of negates everything else. Cormier is going to come out and obviously going to try to take it to the ground, but I think Rumble's takedown defense is top notch. I just don't see Cormier coming out and like think about when he fought Dan Henderson. He's just fucking treating him like a little bitch and slamming him down, and I don't see that happen. I don't.
Rumble's
see,
way too big.
right, and
It's crazy big.
pair that with his takedown defense, it's just not going to happen. Now add in a couple kicks from Rumble, and then add in the power. What if Rumble just came out and started taking him down?
What, the BJ Penn?
Yes, John Fitch.
Yes.
What does he do right away? Boom. Never know. And they say, like, when Rumble's sparring people, and he's not even going 100%, he's knocking fools out.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power.
He's like, what's that, of Mice and Men, the guy who squishes the
Lenny?
mouse? Yes, because he doesn't realize how strong he is. I think that's the kind of...
I was going to say put the lotions on his
No,
skin. That's a different movie.
one. Is that Silence of the
Yeah,
Lambs
yeah.
or one of them fucking...
It puts
creepy-ass
the lotion
movies?
on its skin.
Nice.
That's a creepy movie.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that.
No, that movie. No, too scary for me. I don't like it.
I'm not into those scary
Clarice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to be all medicated watching scary shit.
Too freaky.
What's going on?
You get all
man?
jumpy.
Yeah.
It's not good.
So, I really think, you know, you got to look at Johnson too. He's like, fuck, I was supposed to fight John Jones, and now I got a different fight. Cormier, I also would wonder, where is he at mentally? Because, you know, you're just coming off of, here was a guy who was undefeated.
Yes.
Takes his first loss to John Jones. Hard loss.
Hard
loss.
It was a war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mentally, I don't know if he's ready to be back in another title fight and go to another war. So I really like Johnson in this one. I think this is a night of KOs, and I'm taking Johnson with the first round KO. It's power negates a lot of shit, and takedown defense along with that power. Now you got to stand up against Rumble. Good luck. Good luck with that.
I concur.
Great.
I mean, what else can I say? Of course, Cormier has a shot. I mean, if he puts Rumble on his back and holds him there and grinds him out and tires him out, that is possible. I just don't see, he couldn't do it to Jones, so how's he going to do it to Rumble? One thing I've noticed from watching Rumble, he's always had a really good base under him, even when he was fighting at 170. And I feel like that's where all his power comes from. Is his like hips, and he gets it's not from upstairs. Like, he has a really good like balance and base and good footwork. So I think that's hard to negate when you're talking about a guy who's that strong. Just he tags you once or twice and it's see you later. Good night, And I don't know that Cormier has ever been hit that hard before. So
no, he did fight in that quasi Strike Force heavyweight tournament, and was that the
he went up against Barnett.
Where there's
a lot of leg locks.
Slugging it out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He may surprise us though. He may grind it out. He may Randy Couture, Rumble Johnson.
I don't see it.
No?
Randy Couture, James Toney.
Yes.
Where he just shoots from 3/4 away from the octagon with a weak ass takedown and gets it.
Of course. He knew what was good for him.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to strike with this crazy guy.
That didn't train for the fight.
Hell no. He just wanted a paycheck.
So out of shape. They paid him a sick load of money.
Of course.
Magic 8 Ball. We're both taking Rumble Johnson. Magic 8 Ball is also taking Rumble Johnson.
Nice.
Clean sweep here. Moving right along. Ask the Nuts.
All right.
Ryan Smith. He says 6-man tag team MMA. Ingo and Matt each can pick 2 MMA fighters that they want. Which 2 are you taking? So I assume that we are the third person on the team.
Okay.
So
we can each.
So it looks like it's a 3 versus 3. It's me and 2 versus you and 2.
Okay.
What are you taking?
If that case, it's easy. I'm taking Chris Cyborg number 1. So that you'll be too busy loving to fight. So you're out. You're done. He'll be loving. There's going to be no fighting going on.
Matt's sad.
And number 2, Ronda Rousey.
Oh.
Yes. And number 3,
you already took your 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm taking Chris Cyborg at Kat Zingano.
Damn it. You can't. This is not a video game, man.
There are 2. Yes, there are. There you go. Have you not played
Cyborg.
EA or whatever UFC game there is?
Bisping versus Bisping. What would happen?
And they both wear the same fucking outfit because we're too cheap to fucking develop the inverse of
That's crazy. Will there be another game, do you think? It's been over a year.
I hope not. I hope they just
maybe there'll be a round 2.
It's just fucking terrible. It's going to be a ladies' night is what we're saying.
Okay.
Ladies
yes. Oh, yeah.
Night.
Why not?
If I was to pick men, oof. What the fuck do I want? John Jones. In this condition right now. Coked up, fucking crazy, crashing cars.
Ready to kill.
Yep. What else would be a second guy on my team? Like the fucking Devastator. Because the other question is it a team? Like, is everybody throwing down at the same time?
Like that shit we watched earlier?
Yeah, I'm trying to pick a strategy there. And is there drug testing involved? Or can I have Vitor Belfort juiced up?
I need 6 months to juice up. I'm getting on everything.
Yeah.
TRT, HGH, whatever, EPO.
Yes, EPO.
All of it.
Because then you might want to consider Cain Velasquez then, depending upon how EPO and how his knees are holding up.
I go from 190 to 245.
Whoa! It's all good. Follow up. He says, "How crazy do you think it is, according to some websites, that Conor is a favorite over Aldo?"
It is pretty crazy. I don't think he's proven that he can handle that level of competition at this point. I mean, he's talked a lot, and it's nice that he like calls shit out and he does it. But I mean, at some point the luck runs out, and you always hit your wall of I don't know. I haven't made up my mind on that fight, but I would say heavily leaning towards Aldo finishing that motherfucker, and maybe even handing out a 5-round ass beating just for purpose, just to show that this is my town. You're not. I don't know, but I'd love to see him win.
2 words: leg kicks.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Conor, I don't recall him checking those.
Not
he just
really.
kind of takes it and does the Nick Diaz at you, like, what? What? You gonna keep leg kicking me?
Yes.
Guess what? That shit accumulates.
Yes.
You can ask Uriah Faber how that
Yes.
shit works out.
Should we tweet him that picture?
Yeah. This is what happens when you don't check leg kicks.
Yes.
I just don't see it. John J. Bob. Seems as though this Reebok deal sucks for most of the fighters. How much will this hurt the UFC with bringing in new talent? And how is this going to play in when fighters are free agents? Are we about to see a changing of the guard and Bellator becoming the new number one in years to come? Well, you did have Scott Coker talking about that, and there was some, I forgot what the fuck this wrestler was, but some stud wrestler just signed with Bellator, basically saying that part of the reason that he signed with them was because of the sponsorship and the Reebok deal. So
Yeah.
I would imagine you're going to see people starting to move over if the UFC doesn't make a change.
Yeah.
I would imagine they're smart enough to realize they have a problem and they need to do something, and hopefully will address it.
Yeah.
But again, if it goes back to money, if they might not be in a financial position to make that decision, money may be dictating their choices right now.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
you know?
I think some good competition between the two brands would be great.
Yeah.
If they can make that a possibility to benefit the fighters, and maybe they can create. It'd be awesome if it was like a league type thing where somehow. Did you mention this before? Like
We might have
Bellator and
talked
UFC.
about that.
It seems like we've discussed it, where they can somehow have like tournaments. Cross.
Yeah, why not? UFC seems so
elitist.
Yeah, it's just like you guys aren't even in the same league of ours. We're just gonna. We can't possibly come down to your level. Why not? If you're so good, then just let the Bellator guys come in and fucking smash all their champions.
Mm-hmm.
Prove it out that way. I'm okay with that. Fucking Kimbo Slice and Ken Shamrock are fighting in shortly. I think it's
Like a
in
month.
June sometime.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm fucking way more excited to see that fight than I think any of these current UFC fights.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, probably a minute and a half of that.
Yes, I don't give a shit.
Who's gonna turn purple first? That's
I
my
don't know,
question.
but I think Ken Shamrock's gonna get injured before.
You might. It's possible.
And by the way, he looks juiced to the gills.
Oh, he looks huge.
He's like 52 or something. Good for him.
Life's good.
Is he a grandpa yet?
I don't know.
Good for him. I'm all for it. Are we gonna see a change in the guard? We might. You know, Phil Davis is the first guy to go across.
You won't be the last.
No.
No.
Eric West, last question. Do you guys think that Romero's original opponent, Jacare, would have been an easier opponent than his new one, Lyoto? That fight just got announced. Romero versus Lyoto, which
No
is
way.
fucking weird.
No, I think Jacare was way tougher.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a weird fight. I feel like Machida is in no man's land at this point. He doesn't
he's
have
stuck,
a place.
right?
Yep. So he's getting up there in age too.
Yeah. And he says, on a non-MMA note, which movie are you guys looking forward to most this summer? He says, I love me some new Star Wars and Jurassic World, but that's just me.
The new Star Wars doesn't come out until the winter though. I think it's December, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's not a summer film, sir.
Oh, fuck you. Blasphemy.
I don't know. You know what? I don't get excited too much about movies for the theater, so I really like to watch them at home.
Yeah,
But
still, what's the one I'm gonna go? I have to see the Avengers because my 10-year-old daughter is really into all the superhero shit.
she is.
We'll fucking go see that for sure.
Yeah. I never got really into it, like the whole superhero stuff. But there's one movie this summer that I really want to see, and I can't remember what it is now. There was one that it wasn't like a typical blow 'em up kind of movie. I like those different styles,
I hear
the
that.
different styles of films.
Moving right along. And some knowledge. You saw this video posted on Facebook
Here we go.
of this fucking
It's going around, man. Everybody's seen it.
yeah, this guy just teeing off on everybody, and I mean you've seen it. No,
Yeah.
I'll fucking put it over here, but
Do we know the backstory or anything?
No,
I tried to look up some shit on this, and I couldn't really.
I just don't get this kind of style of training. Like, first off, if you're the instructor and you're just teeing off on people and giving them brain damage for no good reason, why?
They all seem very happy.
And
Please hit
then
me.
two, if you're the student, how are you not punching back here? I'm sorry. If I get hit, I hit back.
Well, I mean, if that was, I'm not letting you hit me without protecting myself.
No.
Are you crazy?
And with no headgear either.
No.
And he also tees off on the women at the end of the video.
Oh, I didn't watch
Yeah,
the whole
at the
thing.
end of the line, there's like 2 or 3 women. So I don't know if I can fast forward here, but we'll take a shot and see.
That guy didn't
I'm like, this is gross.
Oh, uppercuts too. Damn.
And
Wow.
he's just beating on these women. And then I think finally another instructor comes in and says, I think you're hitting them a little too hard. And then
He's getting worse. I noticed he got worse as he went.
like, look at that shit.
Crazy.
That's fucked up.
It's
But even, I just don't get it.
well,
You know, I'm
It's
assuming we're in some other country.
yeah, it does not look like that's in the U.S. I couldn't find the backstory escape. I don't know what the hell.
It only has 3.5 million views.
Oh yeah, it blew up on
Interesting.
Facebook this week. Everybody's posting. I mean, people. I think it gives like martial arts overall a bad view from
Is
the
this the Cobra Kai?
Cobra
Sweep
Kai.
the leg. He was just in a Buffalo
Yes.
Wild Wings commercial the
Was
other
it?
day. Yeah.
Okay.
In the regalia, the
Nice.
uniform.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, that seems like if your gym is doing that to you in any way, shape, or form, find a new gym, please. Like,
Yeah.
that's not, never in my martial arts experience have I ever seen anything like that. And if I would have, I definitely wouldn't have gone
It's
along
like
with
a
it.
pass.
I'm done, yeah.
If I could just tee off on
Yeah,
me
yeah.
and not expect to get some kind of a counter shot.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what we got.
Jot it down.
Yep.
That's been this week's edition of MMA Nuts. Make sure you watch Game of Thrones.
That's right. It's getting juicier.
It is getting juicier.
Last show was good. Don't remember what happened, but it was
I
much
think
better.
this show should be a lot of shit.
People are going to be dying.
Some shit
Assassins are
brewing
going
in
to be
the-
assassinating.
They're focusing a lot on the north, I've noticed. There's a lot of shit happening. I want to see some walkers.
That's right. It should all be focused on the south. It's all about the back end.
Yes. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks for playing.
Tango, I go, Necker.